stay in the shade as much as possible. Their skin contains too little melanin to give any protection from the sun, so they should not be exposed at all. Generally, when it's hot, a single layer is enough. Lightweight cotton is best as it's breathable. When you're out and about, make sure your baby has a wide brim hat on to keep the sun off their face. The pram should have a clip-on parasol or sunshade. Never cover the pram with muslin or blanket as your baby can overheat. At night, keep nightwear and bedclothes to a minimum. A vest or just a nappy is fine on the worst night. If your baby kicks or pushes off the covers during the night, just leave their nappy on and have a single well-secured sheet. Make sure the sheet is secure enough so it cannot cover their face or get entangled during the night. Temperature regulation. Small babies are not very good at regulating their own temperature. They can overheat because of too much clothing or bedding, or because the room is too hot. A question to ask yourself: how will I know if my baby is too hot? If your baby is sweating or their tummy feels hot to the touch, take off some of their clothing or bedding. Don't worry if your baby's hand or feet feel cool. This is normal. It's easier to adjust for the temperature with changes of lightweight blankets. Remember, a folded blanket contains 2 blankets. A room temperature of 16 to 20 C is comfortable and safe for sleeping babies. Your baby just needs light bedding or a lightweight, well-fitting baby sleep bag. If it is very warm, your baby may not need any bedclothes other than a sheet. Even in winter, most babies who are unwell or feverish do not need extra clothes. Babies should never sleep with a hot water bottle or electric blanket. Never sleep next to a radiator, heater or fire. Never sleep in direct sunshine.
Alright, welcome back. You're still watching Women's Corner. You're welcome again. And of course, to join this program, to watch this program live, you can go through our YouTube or our Facebook page at Galaxy TV News on YouTube, and on Facebook we have Galaxy Television to watch this one live. And yes, today is the 2nd of May. I'm super excited. 2025, and of course it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. I think I'm not really dressing the part. Patricia is really dressing the Thank God It's Friday. I'm ready for the party.
Thank God it's Friday, Blossom. Thank God it's Friday.
Okay, alright. So we have an amazing guest seated with us in the studio. Her name is Pastor Helen Ola B. Of course, she's a mother, she is a mentor, she's a counselor, she is a teacher and a shepherd. And of course, she is the convener of the Purpose Driven Ministry for Singles and Marriage. She's also the resident pastor of Daughters of Destiny Interdenominational Fellowship at Aja Center. And of course, she's a certified marriage counselor by TIMFA USA and a certified trained leader by ALDC Covenant University. She studied electrical engineer. While welcoming you on the show, I need to ask, why electrical engineer?
Okay.
It's good to have you on the show first. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I love the yellow.
Thank you.
And the black.
Thank you so much. Yes.
So why electrical engineer?
Electrical engineer, I just found myself in that field. That's
okay.
That wasn't actually what I wanted
to do.
But the understanding I have now, thank God I went for electrical, but because it was while studying electrical engineering, I met my husband.
Oh wow! So there was a purpose for it.
What I actually wanted to study was to be a medical doctor. But there, when you want to gain an admission, starting to challenges has to do. I missed the first admission because of finances, and some things came up. I just said, why don't you go for this course?
Yeah.
So I took the offer, and lo and behold, I met my husband.
Ooh.
There was a purpose for it.
In that school, in the same department, but he was ahead of me.
Oh, wow.
Fantastic. So you know,
Maybe I need to go back to school.
no, let's know, what school was that?
That was Federal Polytechnic Ilaro.
Okay.
Go back there. Go back there.
You know, funny enough, the topic we're talking about today is choosing the right partner before marriage. So yes, I want to choose the right partner. I'm going to Federal Polytechnic Ilaro. So yes. Anyways, it's good to have you on the show again. Okay, now let's go into the topic we have for today: choosing the right partner before marriage. First, of course, the usual question that comes up is, how do you even know this partner is right partner for you? Yeah. How do I know?
Okay, I'll talk about 7 checkpoints you need to check as a single you may look at. Because most of the time, everything may look the same. But if you have the 7 checkpoints, you'll be able to get it right in life. Number 1 is the perspective checkpoint. You have different guys. You need to know what's their perspective about life, not only about marriage. What's their perspective about training up a child? What's their perspective about life generally? For example, some people don't believe in loyalty. Do you understand? I tell people, if someone is not loyal at their place of work, they can never be loyal to
At home,
They are not loyal to parents, they are not loyal to their calling. They are just meeting you for the first time and you think they'll be loyal to you. No. Another example is some people have perspective about that marriage is going to solve their sexual urge. You understand? Marriage does not solve it. Marriage does not solve it. Yeah, because why? There are times in marriage it's not eros love that sustains marriage. You don't feel like having sex. So if your partner does not feel like having sex, what do you do? That's why you have adultery in marriage. So if you don't feel like having sex, your partner does not feel like having sex, and you thought going into marriage is going to satisfy your sexual urge, there is a tendency of you going out there to look for someone. That's not the essence of marriage. And some people think marriage is going to solve loneliness. Loneliness is not due to lack of affection, but due to lack of action in life. Yes. So you must discover who you are before thinking about marriage. If you don't discover who you are, you don't know what you want. So the perspective checkpoint, this person, what's their perspective? Does it align with mine? The second thing is mutuality checkpoint. Do we love each other? You know, some people force people into marriage. I tell people, never get married by selection, by election, by manipulation, or by profession. What do I mean by selection? Oh, I have different people, many, mo. That's election. Election, how many people are voting for this guy? How many people in my family are voting for this lady? By profession, oh, because this person is a doctor, this person is a nurse, this person is a lawyer, especially nowadays that people are jackwaring.
Yeah.
So some guys are actually looking for
doctors.
So never, and by manipulation, never marry someone out of pity.
What about when the person is pregnant, you know, for the woman? Is that out of pity too?
Yes. You made a mistake, but you don't need to continue in the mistake.
You could have the baby and be a single mother.
Yes. And the man can take responsibility of the child, but it is not compulsory and mandated for you to marry. Because there are other checkpoints. For example, I tell people, friendship checkpoints. Like I said earlier, it's not only heterosexual marriage. Not every time you talk about sex. You must be able to communicate, mentally sound together, mentally compatible. Because it is that friendship that keeps marriage, not eros. So sometimes, if by mistake you impregnated someone, it is not mandated. Just make your amends and move on with your life.
Oh wow!
Both of you should agree, have a balance in what you're going to do for the child. And so it's not compulsory, it's not mandated. And also the time checkpoints. Never rush into marriage. Don't be desperate.
Right.
Desperate is because you lack value. If you know your value, anything value you don't throw out, you keep it. So if you know your value, you will not be desperate. And I tell people, nobody can increase your value. For example, you go to the market, you want to buy maybe fan or something, and they call it 120,000. They won't price it high, they will rather price it low. So when you know your value, you will take time to check this person, because I used to say time is a revealer of truth. People can pretend for some time, but with time,
you'll see.
The truth will come.
Truth will come. The truth will come at the accountability checkpoint. Who is that person submitted to? Most of the challenges we have in general is because one of the partners is not submitted to anyone. Nobody can talk to them. Even their parents cannot talk to them. I tell people, if a guy is telling you, my mother cannot talk to me, they are afraid of. You have had that situation when someone says, even the father is afraid. I say, and you are going, you're home. So when you shoot up, do you now think someone that gave birth to this particular person for the past 30 years, this person is not submitted, and you think the person will be submitted?
But how about when somebody says, I'm not scared of anyone? Same thing.
That's a red flag.
Okay, so why do you think they are not submissive to their parents? Do you think because they became the breadwinner at the time or something?
Yes, at time I believe the way we are being raised up.
Maybe being raised.
Yeah, especially when it has to do with the last born.
What's so special?
They are special because we over pampered them.
I don't think I'm doing that.
Yeah, I feel.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Most of the time, we put the responsibility on the first, the second.
Yeah.
When to the last, you're just like you just let something go. They have to ask you for certain things, and so it gets to a point. The child is so having my way. I have my way all the time with mommy. So they take that out there, believing they will have their way.
I hope my son is hearing.
I'm telling you, my last one, my daughter, that's the same case. So I'm trying to caution her that you might have your way with your parents, or how dare you might not, because people take it into relationship and marriage. My mom is always giving me this, my dad is always giving, so my partner must always
Give me that.
Always pay attention to me.
Oh, so okay. Well, you said a lot of amazing points which are very, very valid. Now, I'm asked, what are the true red flags? Because I know a lot of people say, "Oh, red flag is when a man does not call me, I don't like it." And I'm like, "Is that a red flag?" So, what is the true red flag?
You know, for
that
me,
people should actually look for in their partners before they can say, "Okay, I can't marry this person."
I think for me, I was going to chip into her question. Red flag comes with different perception, just like you talked about perception.
Yeah.
Your red flag might be, he's not calling me. Mine might be, he's calling me too much. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So, please.
Okay, so, yes, she got it right. Because we have different love languages, I think 5. So you must understand the person's love language. If spending of time, quality time. For that person, that's why you must find yourself to know who you want. If you are that kind of person, you don't have, and I just say, ladies, we are fond of doing that because we are emotional beings. We like talking. Men are talkers, they are actors. But women will like to. So most of the time, I see female complaining in their relationship because men are not like that. We have to come to that understanding that men, we are totally different. Two genders coming, we are totally different. We are not made from the same substance in the first place. A man was made from the sand, women were made from the bone.
From the ribs of the man.
We are not. And so most of the time I see ladies complain, men are not talkers. So that shouldn't even be. What the mean about red flag is just what she said, perspective. We are different. I'm telling you, someone that is more fit for me can be fit for somebody else. You see two people in a relationship, we are quarreling. That same guy goes with another lady and there's no issue. So it is not, it's about you finding your fit. So but the major red flag, I would say,
that is what I'm actually going to, because I want the major one that you call
for me flag. Because I am a pastor, the major red flag is the fear of God. I'm not talking about you attending. One of the things, I've been married over 15 years. So one of the things I've realized is that whatever would sustain your marriage has to be from God. If God is not in the factor, in the next 30 years, you can be doing fine. You see what is happening all around. 20 years, you'll be there managing, but it will come to a threshold. They cannot survive the day. Because I tell you, it's only God that can sustain marriage. So anyone that does not have the fear of God cannot. Because the fear of God, that is where the fruit of the Spirit generates from. You don't get married. You are not going to get married to as in you are not going to live with the physical person alone. But what is inside of that person, which is the character. The character. when you talk about someone getting angry, it's because the person doesn't really have the fear of God. It's not connected to God. I'm not talking about going to church or just calling Christ-like, because these things are there. You see a guy already shouting at you. Even if he's not beating you in courtship, in marriage he will beat. You are going together on a run, someone calls him or her, and you know you're on Thornmelon Bridge. The person is saying, I'm a talk baby.
No way, Pastor. No way.
It is a lady. I tell guys, if you already notice that this lady will not be submissive, let me tell you, we don't want to accept this, especially ladies, because we think we are we are deep thinkers. We are not deep thinkers like men. We are shallow thinkers, but we think wide. Men are deep thinkers, but they think straight. And so most of the time, we think we know more. And so there's a tendency of you feeling that you know more than the guy. And so if a lady cannot listen to you as a guy in courtship, don't have it at the back of your mind that the person will be submissive. And you can never have two drivers in one car. Driving, not two steering in a car. You can have one steering wheel. Yeah, it's just one. And so those are some of the red flags. Someone is already having a, let me say, it's not a side chick now, already having another partner. You are making excuses because I'm not satisfying you. In the first place, you're not supposed to do that. If you know your value, nobody should drive. You know there are some certain cars you don't test drive before you buy. There are certain cars.
Give me name.
You can't test. You can't. You can't. You understand? If you don't, so someone is telling me, let me test drive you. It's because you don't know your value. You don't. There are certain cars you don't test drive. When you get there, they won't even give you the car until you pay for it. And so when you start seeing a guy saying, I want to, why are you a car in the first place? You're not even a car. You're not even a car. So that is a red flag. Because I tell people, if the foundation be faulty, what can the righteous do? I'm going to look at it from the same perspective, because that's helped me over 15 years.
But let's even talk about this, your test drive. Some persons that they will not test drive. Like if you refuse to even test drive, they'll probably be doing that out with another person, why they're being loyal to you by not touching you because you don't want it. How about
That's why I said the first thing when you're looking out for a partner is for you to discover yourself, your own personal relationship. I tell people, if you're sincere, and God knows that you're sincere, God will not one. It's because sometimes, especially for ladies, love does not allow us to see. We get carried away with the emotional part of love. Yeah. Nobody that is married that will tell you that this is my partner that I did not see the sign when we were cutting.
So like you always notice it.
You will notice, but sometimes we make excuse that in marriage they will change. In courtship will be a lizard in marriage.
Okay, Pastor. But then again, some people could pretend to the last, and then you get married and start saying the red flag. What do you do?
That's why I talked about time. The time frame. Then I never rush into marriage. I see people coming, I just met this guy for 2 months. I want to go ahead. See, there is a time of knowing each other. And like I said, that's why I said you can't do it without God. That's what people don't know. We've seen a lot of things, even celebrities. We've seen what is happening. And that's why I say you can't do it without God. When you have the Spirit of God inside of you, one of the gifts is the Spirit of discernment. One way or the other, I used to say it, your Father is not a wicked God. That he knows that you are truly sincere, you have a he will send you someone that is wicked. It's because we normally follow our emotion. That's just the issue. People can pretend, but if you are, it's just like you want to buy a dress, you want to buy a car, you want to move into a new house, or you want to rent a house, you will check. Is that also? You will check. Sometimes you start asking questions. The road to the place, when it's raining, is it always flooded? You check the car. Sometimes you check. You want to know what is the car is, how the fuel consumption, everything, how many GM, whatever. You will check. It's just that when we are carried away with Eros law, people don't check anymore. They just feel, oh, it's the figure 8. Yes. So one of the things is that people can, for example, you've been working, you will know each other. I tell people, if they put 5 black people, and one is from Uganda, one is from Ghana, one is from Mali, one is in Nigeria, and one is from, let me say, Niger. When they are speaking, when they are talking, don't you differentiate?
You can. Yeah.
So if you are careful, at a point, maybe when they are starting, you are not able, but at a point you will see. So the thing is, Eros love is very, very deception. Now it is very, very deceptional. It can deceive you blind. That's why you need to have a third party when you're caught. Someone that will open your eyes. You might not see, but there is someone.
But what if the person that you have as a third party to open your eye is opening your eye because he or she is just?
Another thing is
Because that can happen. Exactly.
No, that's true.
That's why I tell people, when you are in relationship, you don't pick your friend as a third party.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You pick someone that is neutral to both of you. The person is not going to take sides.
Probably older, even.
Older, a marriage counselor. The person is like, I don't know you. Even if I know you, at this point, I don't know you. I'll be able to, because I've seen people, even to us that are married, we knew there are some things that, we just felt love. But with God, that's what helped us. Nobody is perfect. But there are certain things you must look out for that will help you in marriage.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
This topic is so
I wish I met you.
So let's quickly go for a short break. Of course, let's take another tip and we'll be right back to the studio to continue talking to Pastor Helen. This is very interesting. We want to know how to choose the right partner. So we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Tips on maintaining marital values. Success in marriage does not come merely through finding the right mate, but through being the right mate. These are the tips you need. Number 1, love and commitment. At its core, love is a decision to be committed to another person. It's far more than a fleeting emotion as portrayed on television, the big screen, and romance novels. Feelings come and go, but a true decision to be committed lasts forever, and that is what defines healthy marriages. Marriage is a decision to be committed through the ups and the downs, the good and the bad. But when things are going well, commitment is easy, but true love is displayed by remaining committed even through the trials of life. Number 2, sexual faithfulness. Sexual faithfulness in marriage includes more than just our bodies. It also includes our eyes, mind, heart, and soul. When we devote our minds to sexual fantasies about another person, we sacrifice sexual faithfulness to our spouse. When we offer moments of emotional intimacies to another, we sacrifice sexual faithfulness to our spouse. Guard your sexuality daily and devote it entirely to your spouse. Sexual faithfulness requires self-discipline and an awareness of the consequences. Number 3, humility. We all have weaknesses, and relationships always reveal these faults quicker than anything else on earth. An essential building block of a healthy marriage is the ability to admit that you are not perfect, that you will make mistakes, and that you will need forgiveness. Holding an attitude of superiority over your partner will bring about resentment and will prevent your relationship from moving forward. If you struggle in this area, grab a pencil and quickly write down 3 things that your partner does better than you. That simple exercise should help you stay humble. Repeat as often as necessary. Number 4, patience and forgiveness. Because no one is perfect, patience and forgiveness will always be required in a marriage or relationship. Successful marriage partners learn to show unending patience and forgiveness to their partner. They humbly admit their own faults and do not expect perfection from another partner. They do not bring up past errors in an effort to hold their partner hostage. And they do not seek to make amends or get revenge when mistakes occur. If you are holding on to a past hurt from your partner, forgive him or her. It will set your heart and relationship free. Number 5, time. Relationships don't work without time investment. Never have, never will. Any successful relationship requires intentional quality time together. And quality time rarely happens when quantity time is absent. Number 6, honesty and trust. Honesty and trust becomes the foundation for everything in a successful marriage. But unlike most of other essential on this list, trust takes time. You can become selfless, committed, or patient in a moment, but trust always takes time. Trust is only built after weeks, months, and years of being who you say you are and doing what you say you do. It takes time, so start now. And if you need to rebuild trust in your relationship or your marriage, you will need to work even harder. Number 7, communication. Healthy marriage partners communicate as much as possible. They certainly discuss kids' schedules, grocery lists, and utility bills. But they don't stop there. They also communicate hopes, dreams, fears, and anxieties. They don't just discuss the changes that are taking place in the kids' life, they also discuss the changes that are taking place in their own hearts and souls.
All right, welcome back. You're still watching the Women's Corner. You're welcome again. And of course, we're talking about choosing the right partner. And we're discussing that with Pastor Helen. And of course, I have my co-host Patricia. Well, there's another story that's trending online, and we choose to discuss that right now. So Patricia, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Blossom. So the story is about a couple whose wedding was cancelled by a particular church here in Lagos or in Nigeria. You know, they cancelled the wedding because of certain things that they didn't meet up with. And I'm going to just read out the things so Pastor could hear and tell us more on this. It's that the first one says sleeping for 3 days in the church before the wedding. And then the second one says bring specific items like gari, sugar, milk, and coconut for traditional pre-wedding rites. Ah, Pastor, but the traditional pre-wedding rites in the church. Then the third one says submitting to a surprise pregnancy test despite already providing a result earlier. And then the most one that is trending says specific rules about makeup attires and even contributions such as a quarter bag of rice and a life chicken to the pastor.
Okay. I'm boiling. So because of this fourth thing,
yes, the wedding was cancelled.
Someone's wedding on that very day.
Yes. And it was raining heavily that day. They got to church and pastor says your wedding is not going to hold because you didn't, meet up with these 4 things. And then their banner was removed because the story says the families went begging the pastors, the elders in the church, everybody was begging, and the pastor said no, and he gave a command that their banners should be removed from the church.
Pastor, but they can sue pastors, right?
I know they can.
Why are you taking this so personal?
Because I don't understand. After spending so much money, well,
I know they can.
Pastor,
okay, my perspective on this is that both parties were wrong. Okay, if this criteria was given to you beforehand, and you knew you were not going to do it, you were not going to fulfill it, you should have gone back to the church and said, I'm not going to do it. Then for the church, 3 days to sleep in church, I don't see where it is written in the Bible. It is not. So I feel that if it has to do with the church policy, then the pastor should have informed them 3 days before the wedding day that I didn't see in church. The wedding is not going. The only valid point I can see there is that's I think is general to all churches, the pregnancy test, because I did it a day before my wedding. That was on Friday. But for the rest, bringing a quarter bag of rice, I think that's why it's now getting difficult for singles to get married now. And like I used to tell people, start with what you have. So if a pastor is already asking for this,
what's the
and
purpose
a church,
of that?
I don't know, and I don't want to know because I'm not in that church. But that's what I'm trying to say in this economic situation.
God, this situation
a church already asking for this. What will the family of the woman or the lady ask for? So if I'm just saying, because like I used to tell my sister, you don't need to have everything. Like I got married, I didn't have everything. So we had to manage with what we had. And my church was very supportive.
I was going to go there. Yeah. I thought that the churches would support.
My church, I cannot, my church was practically, I didn't even have it in my father's church. I had it in my own church where I worship in Lagos, the Redeemed Church. And it was like we were whole family. I did not do anything. The venue I used for my reception, it was my pastor that talked to the hotel owner. So when people even came, where did you get this money? I thought you said you did not have the money. Yeah. The caterer was from the church. When my family were asking, how are you going to cope? We are coming all the way from Ibadan, we are coming all the way. And let me just tell you, I'm into intertribal marriage. I'm from Akwa Ibom. I'm married to a Yoruba.
Oh wow.
And you can imagine, and the only daughter.
Oh wow.
And so the responsibility, and you know Yoruba, when you're getting married to in Europe, if you're from the Yoruba tribe, you're getting married to someone, it's a woman that takes care. You're getting married from my own side, it's the man's side.
That you take
and so both of us decided that we are going to do it ourselves without involving the family, so that we don't put pressure, that they don't start asking, why are you the one doing it? Why? So our church family supported us. When our family, as in our own nuclear extended family came, our biological family came, when they saw it, they were, where did you guys
get this money from?
And so I feel church is supposed to support, because a church is a family.
Yeah.
And so that's what I say about the other. But for the pregnancy test, it is not
very normal. Let's talk about the coconut and what
the ritual.
Sleeping in the church, like I said, is not.
The sleeping, I mean, I don't understand. But what is the coconut? The white
specific items like coconut. Pre-wedding rites, you know, so you should submit specific items like dairy, sugar, milk, and coconut for traditional pre-wedding rites.
Are there any church
that has pre-wedding rites that you have to submit?
There is not. That's what I said. I don't belong to that church. But what I'm going to say is that it is not biblical. That's why I tell people, be careful of the church.
Okay, so but what do you think the pastor wants to do with coconut?
I don't know.
And sugar and salt.
Maybe they want to drink garri.
I don't know.
Maybe they want to drink garri before the wedding.
I don't know, but like I said, for me, I see church as family. I see church as a family. When you see, so for me, I don't feel those are biblical rights that we should. So that's why even the couples were supposed to have asked questions. They're not even supposed to go there in the first instance. Once you, if you are a child of God, that's why I said your relationship with God matters. Because like I said, if the foundation is faulty, what can the righteous do? I don't know what they wanted to use the item for, but it might not even be for eating, it might be for something else.
Oh wow.
Right.
Okay, so Pastor,
yeah, it might be you might think it's for eating, it might not be. It might not be. And so if it is used for maybe another thing, they get married, they start having issues. Because the foundation is already faulty. So
talking about the foundation. Okay, let me quickly ask the same question now. Now they moved to another church. They strolled on street and saw a church that they're not members, and the church welcomed them, and they had their wedding in the church. Do you think that was right?
No, it's not right.
You mean from the church or from the couple?
Which that joined them. It's not right, because you don't know these people. They just walked in. And for the couples, you don't know the foundation of the church. Like you just moved
from one foundation of milk and coconut.
No, like I said, don't move from fry pan
to fire.
I tell people, marriage marriage is spiritual. We don't understand that. It's not about just us. The seeds that are born. Marriage is spiritual. I tell them no relationship that leaves you neutral. A marriage can totally destroy the destiny of someone who carries a great destiny. See people that have been trapped in wrong marriage. And so if the devil cannot actually attack your destiny direct, he sends the wrong person into your life. And so now this person is married on which foundation? You don't know the foundation of the, and the devil said, I've tried here. You people should be your stubborn. Let me take you to the real fire.
So what do you think? They should have cancelled the wedding?
Cancelled the wedding.
Oh wow, Pastor.
All the
exactly, all the money that have been spent.
They would have continued with the reception.
And cancel it,
join
together.
Yes. They should have cancelled. They've done their traditional. And that's why I tell people, when you're having your traditional marriage, as a pastor, I tell people, let there be a pastor. Or if you are having your courts, wedding, let there be a pastor there. Because normally the white is necessary.
Yes.
It's not that I want
to come there. It's a white necessary.
It's not really necessary.
I think maybe
but it is the blessing of a spiritual end.
Yeah.
That is
it. Yes.
That's why I'm trying to.
Yes, that is it.
Because sometimes I've told people, if you cannot afford the white, just do your course. Make sure there is a pastor there that is blessing your union, or the traditional that is blessing you. That's why. Why do you have to go to a church to do another church to do? They should have just moved to their reception, get a pastor that they trust to pray over their union at the reception.
So Helen, another thing I want to say is I am certain there should be a pastor even amongst the family or somebody
even if not
take charge.
Yes, would have taken charge just at the reception and bless them.
That's what should have happened.
But at that test moment they might not be thinking about that.
That means there was something wrong.
Probably the wedding was
if the bride was not thinking right, maybe there was something on that they needed to rush.
Maybe she was pregnant,
or they want to japa, or the person says I'm leaving by tomorrow if it's not done this week, and that's from a point of desperation. You will know that both of them are desperate about something. Are desperate about, because I don't believe the bride is not thinking straight, the groom is not thinking straight. What about the family of the groom? What about the family of the bride? What about the friends of the groom? What about the friends of all of them based one direction? There's something wrong.
And if you look at the direction where they face, the church is, oh my God,
where they finally had where they finally had the wedding.
Yes, I was just looking at the ceiling of the church.
We need to wrap up. So you can see they have to. That's why I said you can't do marriage without God. You have to pray. Prayer, because you might come to a point and the devil is pushing you, and you get into marriage, you start seeing some, and you're wondering, but this guy was a nice guy when I met him. This lady was something else has entered the guy.
It's not the portion of our family. Jesus, Pastor, pray for us.
Thank you very much.
Oh my God!
I really enjoyed this session. I told you should come to the studio. You're gonna go to the studio because she was like, should I do Zoom? Should I do Zoom?
No, it's more interesting in the studio.
It's an amazing session with you. Thank you so much, Pastor Helen, for coming to our studio. We did enjoy. We'll definitely bring you again.
True.
Because trust me, I'll probably be talking about partner. Anyways, thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Yes, I did.
All right.